Good morning from Lauderdale by the Sea. What's up, peeps? And I tell you what's up. Precious metals are way up today. What an exciting evening last night if you were following world markets. Anyways, we'll get there in a minute. And speaking of up, that's exactly what we've got going on right now. Is we've got some... we're off to the races, folks. And you got to love this. This is what we've been talking about for months and months and months. I think this is the start of it, the kind of decline of the dollar in a major accelerated fashion, faster than we've even seen it before. So we're in liftoff mode right now. And boy, isn't that a grand old photo right there of the space shuttle? Nothing like Elon Musk's new spaceship, but I'm telling you, this old school stuff still kind of brings back memories. Look at that. That's just an incredible thing. But again, I digress here. I'm talking about space shuttles when we should talk about gold, silver, and platinum prices right now and other things. So let's move on to those other things. The first thing I want to show you, though, is it looks like, thanks to the governor of the state of Florida, it looks like things are opening up a lot more. My understanding is counties and cities are still having their specific mandates and lockdowns. However, they have no teeth to them. The counties and cities cannot prosecute as far as fines go, and they can't put you in jail for breaking these rules. But I'm sure they can make your life miserable some other way. However, again, it's opened up here. I just kind of want to show you a little video I took downtown here. You know, most of the world is completely shut down, and we're fortunate. I'm complaining about what we've got going on down here in Florida, and take a look at this. And I'm still complaining because most of the businesses are still half full, half empty if you're a pessimist. But take a look at this. Now, granted, this is New Year's weekend, and a lot of kids are out of school, and a lot of people are down here. However, if you take a look around here, things are kind of getting back to normal here in Florida, and especially South Florida along the tourist areas, and they have to. I think the governor understands this, and even the locals definitely understand it, and the business people don't just understand it; they feel it. So again, I think this was encouraging seeing this going on right here. People driving around. I just kind of like fast forward here, and where are we? There we are. Beaches were absolutely packed. If you take the camera as far as you could see, the eye could see, there was just like thousands and thousands of people. So this is good. And I'm sure there's a lot of people still afraid, still at home, locked up in their houses. But there are people out there spending money. There are people that are not afraid, folks. And these are people that are going to be rebuilding the economy faster than anyone else. These people you see walking on the beaches, including myself. So, hey. Let's move along from that and go on to something I talked about earlier in the week, which is called third-party risk. Third-party risk means that when you're at risk, or your property or something you own, or whatever, your health, it could even be your health, I guess, but is at risk because it's in somebody else's hands. And, being in someone else's hands is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Thankfully, we have banks to some degree, I guess. Thankfully, we have places that hold things for us, preserve things for us, help us out like that. But still, third-party risk is something that, if it's not in your hands, and you know why I'm going here, because physical gold and silver, I get asked this all the time. Hey, where can I store my gold and silver? You want to hold it for me, Brian? Seriously, people ask me all the time if I want to hold their gold and silver. No. And not because I wouldn't want to do you the favor, but because it puts you in a position of having third-party risk. Which means that, anything, what if I'm sitting here and a meteorite hits my store? That's highly unlikely, but that's kind of like third-party risk. Or anything could happen. I mean, what if, again, in the event of my demise, legal stuff would, of course, take care of people's property that was at my place. That's not an issue, and we're fully insured and all that stuff. But I'm just talking about third-party risk in general. What if a meteorite hit Florida, or a giant hurricane came here and knocked everything out? Tsunamis or whatever. Those are natural kind of issues that could cause third-party risk. And the only reason I'm bringing up natural issues because that's the only kind of risk that's ever going to knock me out of the game, folks. So, anyways, I'm talking about third-party risk for a reason. Because here's a good article I just saw. New York jewelry wholesaler pleads guilty in $200 million Ponzi scheme. So a local jeweler up there collected about $200 million plus. Gregory Altier of Melbourne, Long Island, operated a 2-year Ponzi, according to the government, $200 million dollar Ponzi scheme based on false statements to investors about inflated returns for non-existent wholesale jewelry deals. So basically what he was doing is he was telling people he was buying these jewelry closeouts and reselling them and making them 30%. And it was a Ponzi scheme. However, but that's third-party risk, man. That's when you give people your money and you trust them with it. That's a whole different, that's a fraudulent issue with third-party risk. So third-party risk can be fraudulent. It can be natural, man-made, natural disasters, man-made disasters, again, fraud. So third-party risk can cover all kinds of different things. So whenever your money is outside your hands, that means gold and silver and platinum is outside your physical, grubby little hands, you're going to incur a third-party risk. And the whole purpose of owning gold, silver, and platinum is to avoid that third-party risk completely if you have it in your hands. The only thing you have to do is make sure it's nice and safe in a protected place, and that's pretty easy to do. You don't leave it in your drawer, and you don't leave it sitting on the kitchen table. And there's many, many ways to hide. $1 million worth of gold is about the size of a 2-slice toaster, half the size. And $100,000 worth of silver would fit in a very, very, very small suitcase. For people say, I don't have the space. Bullshit. You got the space. Even if you live in a small condo, you could hide this stuff where no one would find it. And I can tell you how to do this, show you how to do this. You can go online and find out yourself. But third-party risk means having someone else hold your gold and silver, having someone else hold your money, that's third-party risk. And again, the purpose of owning gold, silver, and platinum is to avoid that. Here's another version of third-party risk: is when you buy a stock that you completely trust. And here's a perfect thing: Jack Ma is a well-intentioned guy, right? People trusted him with trillions of dollars. Chinese folks, international folks have trusted Jack Ma with their money. They were going to put a lot of money into his company, IPO, until, get this, ready? Third-party risk. People that invested in Jack Ma, a well-intentioned, really good guy, incurred third-party risk. What was that third-party risk? Well, the Chinese government came in and screwed Jack Ma. And basically, they said he's kind of disappeared for the last 2 months. Boy, I hope this country doesn't start acting like China. We sure seem like it sometimes. Again, I digress. However, Jack Ma has been missing for 2 months now. And this is fact. This was just recently reported. He hasn't been seen. So since his IPO was supposed to start, I guess he got a little bit too big and powerful, and the government kind of squashed him away somewhere. Who knows if he's sitting in a luxury mansion in home arrest or even alive. I don't know. Likely home arrest in one of his huge mansions somewhere. But no less, that IPO just took a dump. And people that were invested in that lost tons and tons of money. And again, that's third-party risk, folks. Here's a guy that was well-intentioned, but kind of just got screwed that way. So it can happen to anyone, even the most well-intentioned people, like perhaps Jack Ma. I'm suspecting he was well-intentioned, and people that invest in him. This is why you want to have gold, silver, and platinum. This is the whole point of it, having your wealth at your fingertips. That is something you cannot do with fiat-type currencies. That's something you can't do with cryptocurrencies. That's something you cannot do with equities per se. Again, all this stuff relies on electricity and internet. Those are our two biggest third-party risks when it comes to anything financial that is online. So any of your finances, whether it's stocks, bonds, cryptos, whatever it is, if it relies on an internet connection and it relies on power, that is huge third-party risk on a global level and a national level. So the biggest third-party risk to any electronic financial instruments, cryptos, to, again, your equity, your stock and bond trading platform online, anything that is at mercy of electricity and internet, there is potential huge third-party risk here. Not to mention viruses. We haven't even got to that, and theft and theft encryption, breaking encryption, which is less likely. No less, that's all third-party risk. It looks like Bitcoin and Ethereum got kind of whacked earlier this week. Flying high, looks like yesterday. Again, almost looks like gold. It looks like the whales are back in the crypto market. You know, the whales that come in and knock gold and silver, monkey hammer gold and silver markets. Well, And gold and silver markets are highly regulated. There is hardly any regulation in the Bitcoin and cryptos market. So these big whales, look what they did overnight to all the small fish and cryptos. They dumped it. And again, we're familiar with this type of behavior. We've seen it before in precious metals. However, I mean, just think of this market again, not regulated at all. There you go. There's a huge $35,000 to a $5,000 kind of, what the F is that? I don't get it, but you know what? I'm a capitalist, so if you've made money in this kind of Las Vegas type electronic video game, Mario gold coins, whatever you call it, and I'm being a little rough on cryptos. There is a future for it, and I've talked about that. But if you made money on that, that's great. However, I warn the rest of you that are not familiar with that market, beware. The big fish are in there, the whales are in there. It's an unregulated marketplace, unlike gold, silver, and platinum, which is regulated, and you still see what they do to that. The crypto coin market is completely unregulated, so all the little fish are probably going to get swallowed up by these whales, in my opinion. 2020, gold and silver price recorded the best year since 2010. I got to apologize to you folks that watched my show on Thursday. I didn't talk about what the gains were, and I tell you what, rather than me do the math, this Ronan Manley at BullionStar.com, I can still beat their prices, even though they do great articles, put up the numbers for me here. Let's take a look. With gold price in U.S. dollars rising 25% return on gold this year, and that's a solid return. That's no crazy up and down yo-yo movements like you're seeing in the cryptos. To be specific, in the crypto markets. This is solid up behavior right here. And silver prices in U.S. dollars rising an impressive 47.82%. So if you bought gold at the beginning of last year, and yesterday, for example, you sold it, not today actually, it's way up today as well. You sold it on Thursday, and it's lower. It was lower on Thursday. You would have been up 25% last year. And silver, you would have been up 47.82%. I love that silver, I'm telling you. Volatile, crazy as it is, up and down, acts more like a crypto than gold does, but more solid than that. But I love the returns on it, and I think we're not done with that at all. I think sub $30 silver is a great deal, and sub $2,000 silver is still a great deal, in my opinion. And don't be sad that you missed the lows. I'm not going to buy because I couldn't hit it at 17 or 1800. Don't do that. You're good at sub $2,000. Just buy and hold. That's my opinion. Gold's continued bull run. Like to hear that because I agree 100%. We ain't seen nothing yet, in my opinion. And 25% return in 2020 continues with the strong run it recorded. And again, this was written before this morning. We are up like, my gosh, $70 or something like that. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. And silver, it's just flying right now. Blew through that 27 mark today, and last night actually. Anyway, metal's doing very well, solid. The performance is solid. It's not crazy and erratic. It's solid. I like solid. And why wouldn't it be solid? It's been around for 5,000 plus years. It knows what to do. So anyways, what do we discuss today? Third-party risk. We're talking about dollar. Let's take a look at the dollar. Something odd here happening. I looked at this morning. I'm saying the dollar must have really got whacked this morning. However, the dollar is up from its lows here at 4 a.m. Look at that, though, 89.47. Last time we were looking at it, it was well over 90 and kind of falling. Let's look at again, I said there was a direct inverse relationship with the price of gold with the dollar charts. However, it's kind of not true today. If you take a look at this morning, it got whacked pretty good. Let me take a look at the 24-hour chart in gold. And gold started to take off, what was that, 4 a.m.? I can't see. Yeah, there you go. 4 a.m., about when the dollar started getting whacked. All right, so here's 4 a.m. in gold right here. Let's take it 4 a.m. is right here. So, wow, right at the dip there. However, oddly enough, you're seeing some strength right here in the dollar. And, from that 4 or 5 a.m., 8 a.m., basically 8 a.m. up till now, you're seeing strength in the dollar. And there you go, right there, 8 a.m. to now, you're seeing some weakness in gold because the dollar's up a little bit. So there's that kind of inverse relationship, but again, not always. Sometimes that doesn't work, but for the most part, take a look at that. Dollar's kind of gone up a little bit, and gold has backed off a little bit. So Anyways, we're talking about third-party risk. We're talking about dollar index. We're talking about a lot of things, all kinds of new stuff going on in the new year. This is going to be really exciting new year for many reasons: politics, economics. It's going to be crazy. And of course, you know, as one of my favorite authors says, of course the game is rigged. I don't care if it's politics or economics, my personal opinion. Of course the game is rigged. But if you don't play, you can't win. And really the key to winning is learning how the game is rigged, whether it's politics or economics, because again, politics tie into economics now. Unfortunately, the two are in bed with each other. Ooh, boy, you knew I was going to hit back on cryptos again. I just seem like I'm very brutal on them, even though I think cryptos are kind of like the future. You know, I don't think cryptos per se the way they look right now, and privately, they're not even privately running on their own independently like that, are the future. I think the governments are going to adopt the crypto technology and this encryption technology. Again, my biggest issue with it is third-party risk, electricity, and internet. Don't like that idea. Like the idea of having a piece of paper in my hand at least. Anyways, the big difference between cryptocurrencies and equity markets and bonds and that kind of stuff and versus gold and silver. Well, gold and silver is natural. Those other things are man-made. So if it's man-made, it can be manipulated by man, and usually that's the case. Gold and silver can be manipulated by man, but they can't make it, and they can't make more of it. The manipulation mostly applies to these paper markets like the ETFs, SLV, GLD, where you assume that for every GLD stock that you own, they've got gold to back it up. Well, that's probably not the case. That's what we're talking about, folks, third-party risk. You don't have third-party risk when you physically have it in your hands, like gold, silver, and platinum. You can't have cryptos in your hand. It's just impossible. You might be able to write down the encryption on a piece of paper and hold it somewhere, but that's pretty dangerous as well. There's lots of third-party risks there that I don't like. And the other thing that I love about precious metals, they are natural. They're completely natural. This is what makes your crypto coins. This is created by man. This is created by man. The algorithms, everything is created by man, including the encryption. All man-made, all can be manipulated by man. However, what's the big difference with gold and silver? Gold and silver is made by the stars. It's made by the universe. It's a finite supply. They can't recreate that. They can say that you own gold on paper, but again, that's kind of like fiat gold. GLD, SLV, all these things that you hold electronically that say you own gold are fiat, and they're very open to third-party risk. If you physically own what the stars made and gave you, which is gold, silver, and platinum in its real form in your hands, you've eliminated a lot of that third-party risk. And you know what? I think this is going to be the decade of third-party risk myself. So anyway, take that for what it is. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Ware Coins and Precious Metals. What an exciting start to the new year for all of us. I'm going to update this page right here as far as prices go. It's down a little bit. Let's see what the highs were today. I'm going to go to the world markets directly because, again, same as the gold New York market right now because that's what's running. This chart these gold prices here seem to rotate around. And by the way, the company that makes this is a great company. Certified Coin Exchange. It's only for dealers, unfortunately, if you're trying to get on there and take a look. But it's one of the greatest numismatic and bullion platforms out there. It's been around for, 30, 40 years, in fact. And let's take a look at these markets here and the ranges. 1905, I saw that last night before I kind of went to sleep. I didn't really look at markets all last night. I actually watched a few movies. I haven't done that in a while. And a high of 1944. So, you know, quite some range. And when you're considering last week we were just sub $1,900, you know, we're up 50 bucks here. And obviously 41, 46 as of before New York opened. It was up almost $47 since the opening yesterday, or last night, I should say. Look at silver, almost up $1. Love that. Love that. Again, we've made some solid foundations and bases with gold, silver, and platinum. They're holding on to these levels or close to this level, and I like this. This is great. It's not too erratic. It's not too crazy. And it doesn't appear to be heavily manipulated as of late. Maybe all these manipulators moved into the Bitcoin market, hopefully, and out of our gold and silver and platinum markets, hopefully, but not likely. They move around where the money is. Anyways, Man, what a big update today on precious metals, gold, silver, and platinum. Wow, platinum too busted that $1,100 mark. Loving this. So you know, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw some backing off this week. But then again, I don't know, man. These are crazy times, and markets are doing crazy things. So I'm not even going to predict this one, what's going to happen tomorrow. But sure like to see it hold on to at least half these gains right now. Again, if it doesn't, buy the dips. We'll be back here again in the not too distant futures if it does take a dip. Well, that's really about it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. Oh man, I forgot to put up my rare coin screen there. So, in lovely Lauderdale by the Sea, like as I said, look how beautiful it is out there today. This is like the calm before the storm, though. I always like to use my live beach pictures here. And by the way, this is only 2 blocks down from my store. So if you come to my store, make sure you go down here, take a walk on the pier, have a drink, or have an ice cream or something. But look, calm before the storm. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And like I said, Brian Kuzmar, Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. We're open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Mondays through Fridays. Come by anytime and let us know what you're looking for. Happy to help you out. Best products out there today are still Krugerrand's best deal out there, and 90% silver. Worst deal out there, still Silver Eagles and still Gold Eagles, and some other products are even more expensive. Always stay away. If it's more expensive than a Gold Eagle and Silver Eagle, man, you're paying way too much. So, because those products are overpriced. But there's a lot better deals out there than Gold Eagles and Silver Eagles. Call us anytime, and we'll hook you up with that. Hey, have a great day. Anything crazy happens today, I will get back to you. If not, we'll continue our report in these exciting times tomorrow. Thanks, and have a great day.